Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 3rd of November 2010, unless you live in Manchester, in which case, of course, it's 2008. Sorry, what?
Every time I go up there, I always just feel that I've gone back a couple of years.
And so, while Manchester burns,
I don't want to offend the Mancunians, but they're always a step behind Londoners.
Seriously, leave it now, Jamie.
No, you go to clubs in Manchester, you still have to wear shoes.
The rest of the candidates get on with this week's task, which is all about fashion. Liz is appointed leader of Synergy because she's really good at fashion, and Paloma heads up Apollo, and she gets handed Stuart Baggs, the brand, to balance the teams fashion-wise. How kind. But Alex pipes up for her and for the boys, saying, "I'm a retail guru, Paloma," using Paloma's name to really ram home how much of a guru he is. "A very famous professor of retailing taught me retailing. I myself was taught by a very famous professor of comedying," which is a huge disappointment to my mother, who wanted me to go into dentisting. Liz rolls her eyes like a cow that's had its groinal artery slit and says, "Retail is very difficult." It's retailing, Liz. Back to universitying for you. Paloma is so pumped up, I can't wait. But before they do anything, they need to pick some schmutter. What about some cartoon couture luxury streetwear, aka a Fido Dido t-shirt from 1990 for 700 quid? Meanwhile, Synergy looks at dresses, and Nick looks like a guppy, and Paloma says, "What's the heps? What's the haps? Lol." No, look at the lady's necklace. Lol. You people make me sick. Both teams want the cheap sparkly dresses, and the lady says that Liz can have them, and Paloma says, "Good," in an entirely unconvincing way, because it isn't good, it's rubbish. They go to another shop where they take old suits and upcycle them, that's their word, into new fashionable outfits like this. Outfits that look like a sea monster has eaten a yacht filled with businessmen and made a weird coral out of them. Chris asks, "What do you think, Karen?" And Karen says, "Very nice," in a way that suggests that she too thinks they look like executive squid parts. Sandesh says, "I would wear that," and I reckon she's a big fat liar too. See what she did with her lips there? That's from childhood, you know, when a suckling baby rejects the nipple when it's had enough and doesn't want it, it goes, pushes it away. Stuart too isn't crazy about it. Recycle clothing, just, isn't that what tramps do? It is, among other things. Next day, two teams set up shop in the Trafford Centre, and Alex's retail guruing is starting to grate with Paloma. "We're going to struggle to bring people in if they can't see the merchandise." Liz's shop has yet to open while they put on clothes, and Jamie says, "You're going to have to whip your bra off," in a way that suggests that he's said that a fair few times in his life. No one is buying the stapled together suits. Paloma's just going to flip out in a minute, and Stella gets thrust into the window to bring in punters. Amsterdam? Maybe. But not in Manchester. In fact, it's all getting a bit desperate now. Alex suggests, "How about we tell people our store opened today and we've got Fern Cotton and Alicia Dixon in the store." Instead, he manages to get a spot on the Jumbotron in the food court, which is probably better than getting Fern Cotton. If you walked into Paloma's shop on that fateful Saturday and she told you, "That looks hot," that's smoking. That's totally smoking. I hate to tell you, she was just saying it to get your money. Naughty Paloma. Back in the boardroom, Liz, who was appointed project manager by Lord Sugar, somewhat undiplomatically tells Lord Sugar she wanted to step up and be project manager, and when Lord Sugar reminds her he'd made that decision for her, she says, I would have stepped up had that not been the case." Brilliant strategy. She has those slightly tired eyes that suggest she works out too much. Alex gets defensive over the spot he chose in the Trafford Centre, saying, "I made a mistake and I've admitted that." And Lord Sugar, looking increasingly like Zero Mostel in The Producers when he goes up to the window and says, "How do they find me?" backs away and smiles at him and says, "Okay, alright, fine. Liz's team wins and goes off to the horses, and Paloma's team descends into the usual squalid pit of bickering and recrimination that makes for such good television. Paloma decides to bring Alex back in, surprise surprise, and Sandesh, saying she's not a stronger candidate. "You're encroaching upon my area, yeah?" But the main recipient of her ire, and man, I would not want to break up with Paloma, is Alex. Nick steps in though with this impassioned defence of Alex reminiscent of 12 Angry Men. He's not totally irritating, but Lord Sugar has made his mind up. If you'd have shut up a while back, it may be someone else going, but no, you're fired. No faith in Paloma. Oh, and is it just me being a bit sad? But do you try to remember what angle Lord Sugar points to when he says, "You're fired," when they preview the next week's show so that you can work out who it might be? No? It's just me, is it? Try and get out more this week. Okay, bye!